Robert Heffernan with EndoTech, contributors to the Pareto Network and contributing to EndoTech subscribers. This is Blockchain Vitals, and it's our weekend segment. Cryptos never sleep, man. They trade 24/7, 365 days a year. That's why we produce a technical trading sheet, Blockchain Vitals, and I talk cryptos. I don't talk them 24/7, 365 days a year. I mean, I get Saturday off. But you got to be prepared for the weekend. And, you know, I've always been a believer in trading, that closes are very important. What have you done for me lately? What is the market saying at the end of the day on a closing basis? Cryptos trade 24/7, so we take our close, which is also the Asian Open, 4 o'clock my time in the afternoon, Pacific Standard. It's good morning in Asia, by the way, as the weekend is here. It's Saturday. They're ready to play, or they're ready to fire on cryptos if they're sitting at the con and trading. So we need to talk about the price action for the weekend. What those weekly numbers are, let's just refresh everybody's memory on that. And my kind of view anticipating going forward, what to think here. What to think. But first, let's do the rounds. Doing the rounds, it's my chance to talk about things in the headlines. And there are a few headlines I wanted to talk about. So let's bring it up. Because, you know, I love talking timing and fundamental things. So that first headline, and this is from CCN. I grab a lot of headlines from CCN to talk about them. Bitcoin could fall below $1,260 if the bear market continues. JP Morgan analyst. I love this because Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan thinks Bitcoin is going to zero, or that it's worth zero. Another op-ed or a letter from JP Morgan, and more than an analyst, saying that crypto might find its way in an apocalypse type situation. But for the time being, Bitcoin, or, you know, crypto is forget about it, because the fiat world just does fine. You know, from a banker, you know, when they make I was thinking about this today. The ATM, you know, you go to an ATM and you take out $20 and they might charge you $2 for the $20. Seems exorbitant to me. Seems the blockchain, as it evolves, is going to solve that problem. And what about overdrafts? The banks make just an incredible amount of money on saying, you know what, you didn't have enough money in your account, so we bounced the check and charged you $35. Thank you very little. I think the blockchain solves a lot of these issues, and the banks, you know, they're going to need to find a way. Another headline there: in exactly 1 week, Bitcoin will have suffered its longest bear market in history. That's great. But what is that? Does that give you any indication? Is it going to go in a bear market for twice this long? Who knows? Mind the mo, and you don't have to worry about these things. You know, 1260, why don't you sell it now? It could fall below 1260 if bear market continues. It's just a worthless headline. All right? Give me some actionable trading levels. Where does it go below 1260? Should I sell it now because it's going to 1260? Very confusing to me. All right, and a few other headlines. Venezuela continuing to melt down, you know, a disastrous situation, and another situation that shows you why blockchain is needed in many parts of the world, because corruption is so brutal. I mean, how can Venezuela, how can there be food shortages? It's a jungle. They should be able to grow as much food as they possibly could want. But the powers that be there have disenfranchised so many people, disenfranchised, you know, free market activity. The petro, most people have seen as a joke, as far as it's the honesty behind the supposed cryptocurrency. So my eyes on Dash and Bitcoin, really being proof cases in Venezuela going forward. And maybe these cryptocurrencies can solve some problems there. And that use case is what happens, right? You get a use case where people are like, wow, maybe maybe the banks aren't so important if we can work with each other in a digital world with the blockchain technology. So very interested to see how things shake out in Venezuela over the next several months and see how blockchain is involved in that will be very interesting. Another headline that you have to pay attention to out of the NASDAQ, and again, I could have brought this headline up with the JP Morgan one, but NASDAQ fully getting involved in creating platforms to trade tokenized digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and they're not getting into this, putting the type of money that I think they raised $250 million. They are not going after this because cryptocurrencies are going to be this little niche thing that might, be useful in a doomsday scenario. All right, give me a break. So the legacy companies, believe me, they need to fight. They need to fight tooth and nail because crypto really can be like, it's like the horsewhip. Banks are like the horsewhip makers. All right, listen. You had your run, but there's this, the automobile is just a better mode of transportation than the horse and buggy. And crypto is just going to be a better way to solve and to deal with financial instruments. It's going to be more efficient. The fat cats are going to lose at the end of the day. Now, it might take, several years. It might take a decade. But believe me, in a decade, things are going to look considerably different when we're talking about blockchain technology, decentralized blockchain technology, I might add, than they look right now. So let's see how this all pans out. In the meantime, there's money to be made trading these things. So mind the mo, and let's talk about that price action in the vitals. All right, taking the vitals, we do it every day, and that blockchain vital sheet it's your ticket to discipline, right? It's your ticket to discipline. If there's one thing that you have to take away every day is if you're fighting momentum, you're on the losing side of the trade. All right, so if you have a fundamental view, one way or the other, that is fine. Do your research. Come up with the fundamental analysis that suits you. But if the market is trading in a momentum direction opposite of your fundamental analysis, please be patient, all right? And don't fight momentum. It's like fighting City Hall. You never get anywhere doing that. Anyway, we've been following Tron this week. Tron the last couple of days, just a couple of a green candle, a red candle, but still trading right now 0270 Tron, 0270. Still in up momentum on the daily, still in up momentum on the weekly. So if you think Tron is worthless and is going to zero, please be patient and wait for them to trade out of their momentum before you short it. That's all I'm saying. You can have whatever fundamental position you want. That your fundamental thoughts do not have to represent your actual trading, the bet that you put on trading-wise. Maybe that's another way to put it. So mind the mo. If you're long, you want to see these things stay strong. 0244 is that weekly up mo. Room to 0332. We got expanding potentials. I see those levels raising next week. And tune in Sunday night to Blockchain Vitals, the weekly segment. And I will be going over that weekly fractal and where these levels have shifted to. So that's what I'm seeing at Tron. If you're long, stay long. Mind the mo. If you're short, I wish I could tell you something, but you're fighting City Hall if you're short Tron right now. That's all I have to say about that. All right, listen, we're going to say goodbye to the YouTube crowd and cover some more of these currencies. YouTube crowd, I will see you Sunday night for Blockchain Vitals, a weekly. All right.